Good evening, everyone. We'll call our meeting to order. And I would ask Council Chitwood if he would lead us in prayer and pledge of allegiance. Please stand with me.
Please bow. And dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, and thank you for allowing us to gather today to make decisions to move our city forward, and for our personnel, and for our military, and for the end of the wars in the world and Ukraine. May we come together as a council tonight for the good of the city. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Pitcher.
Here.
Shropshire.
Here.
Nance.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Chitwood.
Here.
Wakefield. Gantier.
Here.
Seaver. Here.
Item 2, petitions from the audience. I know of none. Item 3, department head reports. Building inspector, no report today. Emergency management, no report today. Fire department, recognize Chief B.K. Young.
Well, it's getting pretty out. The guys are getting ready to start hydrants and Knox box checking and all that stuff, and we'll get with Terry with the paper, make sure that all gets posted so people know when that's going down. We're also working with MUB on that because they're doing water line stuff, so we want to work with them so we don't cause an issue with them or anything like that. But that's pretty much what we got coming down the pipe. We got a lot of training going on we've had here in the last couple of weeks and to go forward, so when it gets nice out, it's easy to get the guys out and do some training. They're all doing a great job of getting that knocked out. Y'all have anything for me?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Golf course, no report. Library, recognize Miss Carrie Rarrett, our librarian.
Well, happy National Library Week. Today is National Library Workers Day, so if you know a library worker or any of her staff, you should tell them that they're fantastic.
You're fantastic. You're fantastic.
Thanks. Thanks so much. We are in the midst of planning our summer reading program. Autumn, our youth services librarian, and Lily, our administrative librarian, are chief in charge of that. And it looks like we're going to bring back as much in-person programming as we can. We are very limited in space, so I think every program is going to be an all-ages program. So Thursdays in the summer, June and July, 10 a.m. and 6 p.m., come to the library. It's going to be fun. If you have not driven by our building at 505 East Graham, you should, because the roof line is amazing. They will have to pause that at some point because the art museum, we don't have any walls there yet, so they can't do the full roof yet. But it's looking really, really fantastic. And the only other thing I have to say is one of our fellow libraries in Salina had an incident on Friday. They had a Jeep drive through their children's area. So if you're in a position and you want to help them out, they have a GoFundMe to raise some money for expenses that are not going to be covered by their insurance, and it's on their Facebook page. It's also on our Facebook page. So luckily nobody was seriously injured. It happened at night, so no one was in the building, but pretty much demolished their children's area. So, you guys have anything for me? All right.
Things functioning well at our new digs.
We are enjoying all that comes with a building of that age. So, yes, we are doing just fine and kind of learning how to operate in that space. The staff is still adjusting to figuring out workflow for receiving new materials, processing those materials, and then getting them on the shelf. But yeah, every day is an adventure. So it's good. We're glad that we're there long enough to make the move worth it, but we're also really, really excited to get back to home.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Parks and Cemetery, recognize Frank Powell. No OU logo today.
Yeah, wear the hat.
That time of year, firing everything up, all the bathrooms, fountains, stuff like that, mowing. We have had some incidents that's thrown us off, since, with graffiti and being broke into already and getting off the bad start. But cemetery's in pretty good shape, looking good right now. I'll admit we're a little bit behind on the park just because we've ran into some other issues and taking care of some vandalism or some trees. But got some new LED lights put up, floodlights around the basketball and volleyball courts. So just about everything in the park now is LED. And so other than that, just it's that time of year, staying busy, fixing to break the mowers out and get after it.
You got any security cameras?
There is one. And they didn't totally get a facial view, but they got enough to where I think they know who it is, or I think. And then I went and bought some of them trail cams, and we've got some of those hidden up. So,
Good.
yeah. So we done a little thing at cemetery. We're actually kind of hoping they come back out there, but but anyways, that was during spring break too, so I'm hoping it was a one-time deal. But they got us pretty hard though. But just painting, obscene gestures everywhere. We still having issues with Centennial bathrooms. They hit us hard. And I've bought keels and primer, block, and all that, and it just keeps trying to bleed through. So it's just, people don't realize sometimes how hard it is to try to cover this stuff up. We're working on it, though.
So Trader's Day looked really busy. Did you think?
Friday, I thought, I didn't.
Why would you by Saturday?
I didn't see Saturdays.
It looked pretty busy on Saturday.
Yeah, we trying something different, had them all set up over, north of the pool out of the park this year, just because of some incidents we had at the end of last year. See what happens.
There's still a good crowd there. It's a good thing.
Yeah, and then nice weather and stuff like that, it'll get bigger for, next couple of months. All right, anything else?
Thank you, Frank. Item G, Police and Animal Shelter. Chief Nichols.
Don't really have anything tonight, Mayor. Next council meeting, we'll have our stats for police and animal shelter, unless you all have any questions tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Golf course is here now.
Dennis, come on up.
Sorry, a little late there. It's been busy. So this week starts the golf season because it's Masters Week. So if y'all tune into the Masters, that's the first big golf tournament of the year for the pros. So that's kind of the kickoff of the season. But we've been really busy. The weather's been good. Man, we've been, the weekend days have been really busy. So it's really good. So we in March, it was just $143 short of setting 9 record months in a row. So he's just about there. It just didn't quite make 9 months in a row. I'm still really happy. We did $39,000 in March. Our 3-year average is $18,567. So we're really doing good. So a lot of people playing golf. We've held a couple events already. We held a fundraiser for one of the local baseball teams here. A little, I guess they're 8 and under team or something like that. Coach pitch, and they raised $6,100 out there.
Wow.
So that's, they've been playing a lot of tournaments, and so of course, and there's some kids on there that just don't have the means to play in those tournaments and stuff. So I was really proud about that. Hilldale from Muskogee come up, and they raised $3,500 for their golf team. That was just this last weekend. They brought 100 players up, so really good to be able to attract people from that far away. And of course, they said they don't have no quality golf course down there to play on. So there's 2 courses, but one of them they just doesn't have the quality. So we're sure glad to have them up. One of the upcoming events we got coming up is the Brown and Brown Special Olympics on April 22nd, and that's already filled up. So that's really good when we fill up these tournaments early, and so that helps all these charities make a lot of money. Matter of fact, I've already booked 2 tournaments for 2023, the ones that we've already have. So then I told them, you're gonna get your dates, you better book it as soon as you get done with it. So that's really, really good. So other than just being, we're gonna be just crazy busy now because it's that time of the year. Anybody have any questions? Come out and play some golf. Come see us. The weather's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Recreation Center, no report tonight. Street Department, Steve.
Okay. Buddy called us today, or texted me a while ago, without going into great detail. He had a little accident and had some stitches. But he informed me that they're doing some dirt patching on, and repair on Southeast 8th Street, and then they're dipping out the ditches on Southwest Pine Street. So they're out there working on their city streets, getting them cleaned up.
He did have an injury to his one of his fingers and cut it pretty good. It was not an on-the-job injury, but he's tending to that, and that's the reason he's not here tonight. Very good. We'll move to item 4, Mayor's Report. We have a distinguished guest here today. Jack Hardy is here to give us a little update on some things happening with Pryor Main Street. Jack?
All right, you did say extinguished, right?
Distinguished, that's with a D.
Yeah, Jenny asked me to come and talk tonight a little bit about our tornado monument. She's in Oklahoma City at Main Street Day. She says they're getting a lot of good comments about what Pryor's doing down there. Last time I was here to talk about the tornado monument, I was a little bit unsure about our timing or our funding. And so I'm happy today to say that we've raised all the money that we need, and we have the stand-up monument on a concrete base, and we're going to put 2 benches in there so people can come sit for a while and look at that thing, and maybe read the names of the people who died. Yeah, we want to thank the mayor and the street department because they've gone down there and poured new sidewalks there at the corner so that we can go ahead and put that base of the monument there. We set a date for dedication for Wednesday, April 27th at 4:30. Of course, April 27th will be the 80th anniversary of the tornado itself. And we're working with, I know you guys would be interested to know, we're working with the library contractor to make sure we stay out of his way. Our contractor and him went to school together, so I said, here's a phone number, get after it. So they're doing that. Our program will start at 4:30, and we're going to have a couple of presentations there about the history and what have you of the tornado and the monument itself, and then we're going to start reading the names of those who died at 4:45, which is the time that the tornado hit town. We've asked that Quiet Street be closed, and that didn't get on the agenda for tonight, but it'll be on there for your next meeting. We're going to have a formal announcement of all the activities that are involved in that in the next few days. You guys are going to get invitations. We hope you'll come to that event. And this is, of course, a project of Main Street. And speaking for Main Street, we're happy to be able to contribute to history and future Pryor. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you. Sure appreciate your work on that. Item B, discussion possible action to approve resolution proclaiming the month of April as Fair Housing Month in the city of Pryor Creek, Oklahoma, and identifying the activities of fair housing. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
There's a motion, Motion Chitwood, second. I'm not sure who
I
made
was
that.
one of them.
Yeah.
That's fine, that's fine.
Motion Chitwood, we'll say second, Shropshire. In your packet, you have the resolution number 2022-3. Are there any questions or any comments? Hearing none, call for vote.
Hitcher,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Motion carries. Item C, discussion possible action regarding a proclamation declaring the month of April 2019 Fair Housing Month. You have the proclamation in your packet. I'll read it aloud. Proclamation pursuant to the authority granted to me as mayor of City of Pryor Creek, I do hereby proclaim the month of April 2022 as Fair Housing Month and decree that all citizens affirm to follow the concepts, practices, and intent embodied by the laws of the United States of America and the state of Oklahoma and the City of Pryor Creek in regard to fair housing. The City of Pryor Creek has adopted a fair housing ordinance and has designated the month of April as Fair Housing Month and encourages each citizen to implement the provisions of those acts. City of Pryor Creek has further designated city clerk as Fair Housing Activities Coordinator and requests that any persons or group of persons planning activities to promote fair housing to inform the Fair Housing Activities Coordinator of said activities. It is the desire of City of Pryor Creek to recognize those persons or groups who best create an awareness of the need for fair housing practices or otherwise promotes fair housing practices.
Can we correct that with the Scrivener's error of 2022? Should be instead of 2019? Maybe when they make the motion.
On the agenda,
Uh-huh.
yes, that does say April 2019, and that should be April 2022. Thank you, Eva. Are there any other questions?
We have a motion?
Yes, we do have a motion.
We don't have.
We
We don't have a motion, all right.
Make the motion with the correction.
The Scrivener's error.
Thank you, Chris. Ms.
I'll second.
Second, okay. Motion Gantier, second Chitwood with the correction. Call for vote?
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Hitcher,
Yes.
Item D, discussion possible action regarding acceptance of first amended and restated office as a service, OAAS, services agreement extending term of agreement and modifying certain provisions relating to provision of services relative to the city's expansion of workforce, facilities, and technology needs.
Motion?
Second.
Is that Shropshire?
Yes.
Motion Shropshire, second Chitwood. You have that item in your packet. This is an agreement with Fiber Interactive Technologies who, excuse me, who does a good job taking care of our computers, a lot of our phones, and basically keeps us operating. And Chris Calvert is here with Fiber Interactive Technologies. If anybody has any questions, he can answer a question, or Mr. Ritchie or I might be able to answer a question. No questions? Thank you for coming tonight, Chris. Sure appreciate you being here. Hearing no questions, call for vote.
Nance.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Hitcher,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Motion carries. Council will now move to the addendum that you also have before you. There's one item on the addendum, discussion, possible action regarding nomination to fill vacant ordinance and insurance committee seat or accepting mayor's nomination of Chris Gantier.
Motion?
Second.
Motion to accept Chris Gantier and second. Discussion?
Yes, is it appropriate for me to vote on this? Since it's involving me.
You're welcome to vote.
It probably won't make much difference.
Call for vote?
Smith,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Ketcher,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 5, City Attorney's Report. A, discussion possible action regarding CMS Willowbrook Incorporated Change Order Number 4, remove, replace, and patch library parking lot and sidewalks in the amount of $69,228.16. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion Smith, second Nance. In the course of construction, we see things that we miss, see things we don't recognize, and when that happens, then we have the privilege of changing that contract as time goes by. We have CMS Willowbrook here today to answer any questions that any council might have. Welcome, Ms. Wells. Welcome, Mr. Roseborough.
This coming out of the loan money?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, comes out of the bond money.
Mhm.
Yes, it does. Any questions, discussion? You have that item in your packet. I'm assuming that you have taken note of it. Hearing none, call for vote.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Ketcher,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you all for coming tonight. Appreciate it very much. Item 6, discussion of possible action on consent agenda. A, approve minutes of the March 15, 2022 council meeting. B, approve payroll purchase orders through April 15, 2022. C, approve claims for purchase orders through April 5, 2022. D, acknowledge receipt of deficient purchase orders. E, discussion of possible action regarding acceptance of a bid and awarding of contract for Graham Cemetery Road repairs, Pryor 21-05, with Durham Asphalt Services Incorporated in the amount of $58,145 from Cemetery Care Fund account 19-195-5412. Other bids received: Ross Construction, $96,718.80. A&A Asphalt, $77,071.50. Item F, discussion possible action regarding the change of workers' compensation carrier pending ordinance and insurance committee special meeting approval on April 4, 2022. Item G, discussion possible action regarding transfer of a large heavy-duty floor easel from community development to golf course at an original cost of $41.73. Item H, discussion possible action regarding disposal of city records according to City of Pryor Creek retention policy as attached. Item I, discussion possible action to approve quote from Digi Security Systems of $29,952.17 to purchase and install security cameras at the Thomas J. Harrison Public Library. This quote is at state contract pricing and includes new cameras for the additions and incorporating existing cameras into the system to provide good coverage. $12,673.46 will be expensed from account 969655517, which is a donations account. Item and $17,278.71 will be expensed from account 808055413, which is the library building fund. Item J, discussion and possible action regarding approving an expenditure in the amount of $5,493.08 per state bid pricing to White Star for emergency replacement of skid steer tracks for the Pryor Creek Street Department from Street Repair and Maintenance Account 141455342. This action was approved by the Street Committee on March 22, 2022. Excuse me. Item K, discussion. Item K, discussion possible action regarding an additional expense of $248.37 to be paid to Mays County 911 for the 20% match from the Oklahoma 911 Management Authority grant. The amount originally approved on March 2nd, and this should have been 2021 instead of 2022 on this item K, was $18,544. But the final invoice for $18,792.37. This expense to be paid from Police Equipment Capital Outlay Account 444455424. Item L, discussion possible action to approve the additional $335.21 from Pryor Chevy for a total of $4,935.21. The original estimate of $4,600.90 was approved on February 1st, 2022 council meeting to repair a 2015 Chevy Tahoe for the police department. This new amount is a final cost amount and is still less than the other two bids received. G&M Wrecker at $5,040.37 and Patriot Dodge $6,708.91. This encumbrance will be paid from Police Vehicle Maintenance Account 02-215-5092. Item M, discussion possible action regarding Fire Department promotion of John Ballou to Captain, Range P, Step 4, $53,903, effective April 16, 2022. Item N, discussion possible action regarding Fire Department promotion of Chris Young to Lieutenant Range O, Step 4, at $50,547, effective April 16, 2022. Item O, discussion possible action regarding hiring Bryce Moore to Firefighter Range N, Step 1, $36,416, effective April 19, 2022, pending pension physical. Item P, discussion possible action regarding the purchase of MSA thermal imaging camera from Casco at state bid price of $8,320 from account number 02-217-5411. Item Q, discussion possible action regarding the purchase of 4 bunks and mattresses from fire station furniture for $33,208.63 from account number 02-217-5411. Other bids received: Firehouse Beds, $3,224, and Butler Furniture, $4,095.78. Item R, discussion possible action regarding awarding a bid to Casca LLC in the amount of $22,169 for demolition of the house structure at the golf course. Other bids received: M4 Construction and Welding LLC, $24,054.80, and Panther Creek Construction, $37,072. This action was expensed from budget monies from the same from capital outlay account 444455447. Excuse me. Item S, discussion possible action regarding agenda item 6M from the council agenda dated February 15, 2022, which read, discussion possible action regarding an expenditure in the amount of $7,540 at State Sourcewell contract price from Lakeland Office Systems for new Sharp MX 4071 printer, scanner, copier, fax from City Clerk's office from the City Clerk's office from Clerk Supplies Office Account 02-201-5031. The account number should have been 02-209-5031. This is the consent agenda. Items council would like to remove.
F.
Item,
F,
item F,
M, N, O,
J.
M, N, O.
A,
Item J, item A,
H, and I.
H, and I. Are there others? I have item A, F, H, I, J, M, N, and O. Are there others? Then I would entertain a motion to approve all the items that were not selected.
So move.
We had motion Catcher, second Gantier. Call for vote.
Gantier,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Ketcher,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Chitwood,
yes.
Motion carries. Item A, approval of minutes. Excuse me. Approved minutes of the March 15, 2022 council meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Catcher, second Smith. Discussion.
Yes, under city attorney's report, number 2, the voting shows me as abstaining. I didn't abstain. Brianna Brakefield, I believe, was the one that abstained.
Very good. There a motion then, Mr. Gantier Council Gantier to correct the minutes.
Yes.
Motion to correct minutes,
Second.
second Shropshire. Are there any other corrections? Hearing none, call for vote.
Seaver,
Yes.
Ketcher,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Motion carries. Item F, discussion of possible action regarding the change of workers' compensation carrier pending ordinance and insurance committee special meeting approval on April 4, 2022.
Motion.
Second.
Motion Shropshire, second Chitwood. We have with us today Mr. Chris Kennedy. He's with Brown and Brown, and he's here to do a presentation for us. You have on your desk a summary of his presentation tonight.
Did that, yeah. If we need to, I can get. Is it gonna work?
Mr. Catcher, there is no popcorn tonight.
That'd be good, you like this one. So I'm gonna try to get this set up. I'm gonna apologize to everybody in the room. You're gonna learn more about workers' comp insurance than you probably ever wanted to. The people that would have really probably benefited this would have been the Willowbrook people, but they walked out, so everybody's gonna kind of get to see this from an inside.
Oh, you can go make that presentation to them. They'll be glad to hear it. If I could ask you, Chris, to be sure you speak
Yes.
Into the microphone. Thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you all very much for having us. Like the mayor said, my name is Chris Kennedy. I'm with Brown and Brown Insurance. We are here in Pryor, Oklahoma, and what I've got up on the screen for everyone is a review of the workers' comp program for the city that's currently in place. So everything that we see is either going to come from the current policy that we have in place, the current loss runs, the claims reports that we have, and also the current modifier worksheet. So all of this is your information. So we're going to go through this. I'm going to go over a couple things. There should be an executive summary agenda that will kind of follow the talk track here. And want to go through, show you some things that we found on the workers' comp policy, some services that we could bring to the table and help benefit the city. Before we do these, the first thing I want to say is that this is purely a review of the current program, and it is in no way an indication or an implication of your current broker or the current services. So I want to make that clear. This is just a review to where we want to bring forward some services that we can bring to the city. So I want to make that clear. So a little bit, so this should work if not, that is okay. Okay,
So here's going to be the agenda. So first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Brown and Brown and who we are. Some of you may know who we are, some of you may not. We're going to look at the current policy and the experience modifier, which is the 3 years claims history for the city, and we'll go through that. We're going to go through some individual claims and what the reason that we asked the mayor to do a policy review about how we can help the city manage claims moving forward, and we'll go into some pretty extensive detail on that. And then on top of that, we're going to do a 5-year look back on what is the city has overpaid and what can we prevent from moving forward. We already have an idea of what the city should be budgeting for and expecting come August 1st for the workers' comp, so we'll go over that and the new modifier that came out, and then we'll kind of do a big picture as far as a summary of findings, an executive summary of sorts, and then our next steps and kind of our promise to the city. When we do this, if you all have any questions, I'm going to kind of be going back and forth. So, Mr. Attorney, I apologize. I might have to borrow your microphone. So if I whip you with that cord, I'm sorry. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. I'll go back. This is full transparency. I know it's a lot of information thrown at you quickly. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'll be more than happy to slow down, recount something, go over whatever we need to. So about Brown and Brown. We are the 5th largest insurance broker in the world. We, this year, have eclipsed company-wide, over $3 billion in revenue. To put that into perspective, that's $30 billion plus in premium. We now have over 12,000 teammates, so we're not employees, we're teammates is what we call each other, and over 400 locations throughout the world across 7 different countries: United States, Canada, Bermuda, London, Ireland, Scotland, and we have been in business since 1939. Our corporate headquarters is in Daytona, Florida, but we are a 3rd-generation family-owned company. So Powell Brown is our CEO. He is the grandson of Hyatt Brown, who founded this company. So that is all good and well. But the nice thing about us is that we're here locally. Our office is just on the north side of town, on the other side of the old Sears building where IMI Casket is now, and we are very much involved in the community. I believe the office that was before Brown & Brown purchased was somewhere in the 1930s is kind of when it started as well. We've represented Pryor schools for over 70 years. We're very involved with the community. As the gentleman from the golf course had mentioned, we're hosting the benefit tournament for Special Olympics on the 22nd, something we do every year. So we're very involved in the community. Sometimes we put our name on it, sometimes we don't. But most of the staff in our office lives in the kind of the Tri-County area. A lot of folks from Pryor, a lot of folks from Adair. I live in Claremore, so we're local. The nice thing about us is that you have this big national, international broker that has relationships and strategies and expertise, but also you have somebody down the road that you can call. It's not somebody who's in Las Vegas or Dallas or Kansas City. So a little bit of best of both worlds. Our team, like I'd mentioned, we specialize in a lot of things. I specialize in workers' comp. That's why I approached the mayor. As a matter of fact, our employee benefits division already represents the city with the health benefits. So we have a relationship there. Another very unknown fact to most people is that our office in Pryor, little old Pryor, America, is the largest insurer of native and tribal business in the world. We have the vast majority of the tribes in the United States, or in Oklahoma. We have tribes that are in other states. We've represented the Cherokees, the Creek Nation, Chickasaws for decades now. So that's right here in Pryor. So again, it kind of goes towards that big broker program, but having somebody who's local. So we take a lot of pride in that. And again, we work with the city on the benefits program and many other organizations within the city, and very active in that. So as I'd mentioned on key differentiators, one of the things that we're going to go into is claims management and the modifier review. That's a lot of subject matter expertise. I started in Florida with Brown & Brown in Fort Myers. I spent 28 weeks at a workers' comp class that our company pays for to learn this inside and out, and that expertise is why they decided to get me to move back to Oklahoma. I graduated from Adair, so please don't hold that against me, but that's why they brought me home. So spent my time in Florida and came back so I could bring these services to Oklahoma. So what we're going to do is dive in to the workers' comp now. This is a very busy screen, but what it is that is a summation of Oklahoma's work comp state statute. It's Title 85A. So that is this work comp law kind of put into this big fancy infographic. Two important things that I want to address moving forward throughout this PowerPoint is one of two things. Where that purple star is, there's a box that says injury codes, and this is going to be the meat and potatoes of what we talk about. In Oklahoma, we're one of 13 jurisdictions that has a 70% reduction in medical-only workers' comp claims. So if you have an employee who's injured and it's a $10,000 medical claim, but it's medical only, when you look at the modifier, you're only going to be penalized $3,000. There's an offset to be able to have it as medical only. Those are very good. Medical only claims, again, get a 70% reduction on the penalty that goes into your modifier, which they use on your work comp policy to give you either a credit or a debit. Now, when you see a 5 under an injury code, and I'll show you in the coming slides exactly where to look for that, so you'll see where it is. A 5 is where it is both medical and lost time. So somebody missed a couple hours of work. We call that indemnity in the insurance world. If you see a 5 on any claim, that means that the carrier paid time off work, lost wages, and medical costs. If that happens, that 70% goes out the window. So that same claim scenario that we talked about with the $10,000 claim, if it's $9,999 of medical bills and they pay $1 of their lost wages, that full $10,000 goes on the modifier. That full $10,000 shows up at the rating. So that will drive your modifier up. That drives your premiums up. So 5s are not good. That's what we want to watch out for. If you ever see a 9, that's a permanent impairment. It's a surgery. There's nothing you can do about that. Somebody broke their back, they're going to have surgery, they're going to get some kind of lump sum impairment. You just throw your hands up and let it go. 6s and 9s are what you want. 5s are bad. So those we'll go into in just a minute. That purple arrow that's on the top above the star. In the state of Oklahoma, the carrier, doesn't matter who it is, the carrier has the ability to offer up to a 25% credit or a 25% debit onto your policy. And they do that with safety credits. And one of the things we're going to look into is that is something that we would petition your insurance company to do, is add a credit to the policy, which you all don't have. Ms. Malone was nice enough to send me the safety program. It's 73, 74 pages long. Every division has a foreman or a manager. So it's in my sincere belief that there's no reason that the city shouldn't be getting some credit like that. So we would petition, but just remember the state has, doesn't matter who the carrier is, can either offer a 25% credit or a debit in the state of Oklahoma. That can change from state to state, but since we're just a one state entity, it doesn't matter. We're just worried about that. So this is what we call a perfect modifier. And why it's perfect in our eyes is this is a current Oklahoma business. It's one of our accounts we've had for years. They have north of 300 employees, about $18 million a year in annual premium. So it's a very big company. You would know who these people are if you ever found out who this was. Why we say it's perfect is because that is a copy of their modifier sheet, very similar to something you have. But you'll see, so I'm gonna step over here. I'll try to take, I'm sorry if I yell into your ear. So when we look at these claims on your modifier sheet, that IJ, that stands for the injury codes, the 5s and 6s that we talked about. Since it says a 6, that tells us that it is a medical only claim. And this is what the carrier paid, $17.55 in medical costs. But on the worksheet, when they promulgate or publish this modifier, they're going to reduce that $17.55 by 70%. So that was 17, 18. 18, 19, they had 5 of them, and 19 and 20, they had 6. So that's 18 total claims over 3 years. Every single one of them has a 6 next to it. So every single one of them were medical only. So it's kind of a proof to show you that credit is there, that reduction is there. So that green arrow again, that's showing you where the injury codes are that I told you about. So if you took all of those numbers, the 1755, the 1655, 2644, and 3680, if you added all those up together, that's $9,734. That's what the carrier actually paid. Now, since they're medical only, they get reduced by 70%. So 70% of 9734 is 2,921. So when the carrier, has the worksheet, that's why that says 2,921 and not 9,734. So that's why we like to say this is a perfect modifier. Not because they don't have claims, not because it's a small one-man shop and it's not normal. This is a very large company that we've worked with for years to implement the structure that we want to bring to the city, and this is how it should look. This is the benefit of what we talk about with medical-only claims. So, this was the modifier sheet for the city, as you can see here, that we did our review on. So this is both the city employees and MUB, so it includes the utility board. The green arrow, that is a note that is saying that those medical-only claims get reduced by 70% when it's a 6. That's all that rating reflects, that's all that is saying. That's just basic English. It will get reduced by 70% if it's medical only. So in the current policy that we're in right now, the modifier for the city is a 0.99. So we're going to walk into this, but that just is where you can see that this is your information, and the claims that we're going to go into, we're going to talk about a point on the modifier. It would be a 0.98. Just remember right now it's a 0.99. I'll tell you what all this means, I think, on the next slide. Okay, so claims review. So here's when we're going to, this is just a snapshot of the modifier sheets. And you can see when you look at all these claims, so this goes from 2016, up here on the top left, all the way to the 2020 modifier. This is where the injury codes are, those 5s that we talked about that are issues that are driving up our modifier. This is where you'll see it. So this year we had 1, 2, 3. The following year, 4, 5, these years. So that's what we're looking for. Where those green arrows are, that tells you exactly what the carrier paid. So some of those claims the carrier paid for $247 in the top right corner where that green arrow is. So we're going to go into each one of these, but that is just how you would read this to see where the injury codes are, where that purple box is. I realized last year we had a significant decrease on the work comp policy. The modifier was a 1.44, it's now a 0.99. So that's a significant decrease. The premium came down because that 2016, 2017 year went away. So your modifier sheet is just a 3-year accounting cycle of your claims. 1 year falls off, 1 year comes on. 1 falls off, 1 comes on. So when you compare last year's to this year's, that's why it's so much different, because that year fell off and the 2022 year came on. So, or I'm sorry, the 2019-2020 came on. So those replaced it. And then we're going to go into, they changed colors. I forgot to take these off, so I apologize. I'm just kind of clicking away. They go from blue to green. Okay, this is our current policy. So now I'm going to kind of get into some numbers here, because I've said the word points, but that doesn't mean anything to you all. It shouldn't mean anything. So let's tie it in financially. So 1 point on your modifier is approximately 1% of your manual premium, which is this number right here. So 1% of this would be $2,918.99. Let's just call it $2,919. This is why I like this example. This is where we show our modifier, that 0.99 current policy. So it's 1 point under or 1.0. So 1.0 is par. If you all play golf, par is just average. I was hoping the golf guy was in here. He would get a kick out of that. So we're 1 point below par. So we get a credit of $2,919. So that is just a way to show that 1 point from here on out is going to equal $2,919. And the claims stay on the worksheet for 3 years. So anytime I say it went up a point, I want you to think $2,900. And in 3 years is $8,750. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was that scheduled credit. The state of Oklahoma can give you up to a 25% credit. If you had a credit, it would be right under that experience modification. It is not there. looking at the safety program, knowing that we have the protocols in place, everything that I've seen tells me that there's no reason that we could not petition the carrier to offer that 10% credit. We have the structure in place to get it, it's just simply is the broker asking for it. Most brokers don't know that you can ask for that. They just kind of take the quote as they get it, and here you go. In the 6 years that I've been here, every time that we've walked into a similar situation where there's a safety program and all this stuff in place, we've had at least a 10% credit applied. So that's what we would like to do. Go to CompSource and ask them, here's the reason we're going to justify it with that safety manual. Would we be able to apply a 10% credit? Had that been applied, we would have saved, the city would have saved $28,898. It's every indication that from my past experience, that the city could have received that. There's no indication to me that that wasn't on there. So this current year, that would be about a $29,000 overpayment that we saw. So we went back last year, same deal. Last year, you could see what the premium was with the higher modifier. Well, had we got the credit then, last year we missed out on a $42,000 savings. So over 2 years, we're looking at $71,000 in missing credits, overpayments, if you will, simply just by not asking the carrier. Again, if we're hired as a broker, we're going to take everything at our disposal and petition the carrier to add that. I don't think that's a crazy thing to ask of them. Again, we've never been turned down before. I think everything that you all do justifies getting that, and we're going to do everything we can to pull that over for you. As an example, this is one of my accounts. They're here in Oklahoma. They're not far away from here. And what I've heard some people say is, well, we couldn't get that credit because we had a bunch of claims. They won't do that. This is an account that terminated their relationship with their agent over 18 years, I believe. And their modifier was a 1.67. So they paid $277,000 more because they had a lot of claims. They hired us, and this is CompSource as well, so this is the same carrier you have now. We were able to petition them to get a 10% credit. So if you had it, it would show up as that number right there, that 0.90. So that year, we saved this company $69,000 just by asking the insurance company to do it. So this is proof that just because you have claims doesn't mean that that precludes you from having it. We did the same thing again this year and saved them another $80,000. So over 2 years of being their agent, we've saved them close to $140,000 on their workers' comp just by asking for the credits. And they worked with the carrier, and it's worked out extremely well. So going into the claim, so we're going to start out very, very basic, and then we're going to build out on this thing. So we've redacted the names on who this is. Names don't matter to us. We don't care. All we care about are the numbers. So when you look at your worksheet, that modifier worksheet, this individual claim, here's how you're going to read this. The carrier paid $363 in total for this individual, okay? 202 of it was lost time. It's just time off work, right? And $161 was medical bills. So they take the medical and the indemnity, they add those two together. That's how you get that 363, okay? Now, what we would recommend is that when you have an injured employee, unless it's something catastrophic, continue to pay their salary. If it's a little owie claim, which most of these tend to be, continue to pay their salary, let the carrier pay their medical bills, and get that 70% reduction. Had the city paid the $202 in lost time, depending on the department, maybe a couple hours of work, it would have only been medical only, so you would take that 161, reduce it by 70%. That comes out to $48. So the penalty on the current worksheet right now is $363. Had it been medical only, it would only be $48, okay? That would have lowered the total penalties on that 3-year worksheet by $315. Now, it would not have impacted the modifier, 0.16%, so it would have stayed the same. But this little guy right here is going to play a big role later on, because a 3-year accounting cycle, they kind of hang out for a little bit and they can add up. So that's just basic way to read this. So does everybody get where I came up with the 48? Everybody's following along? Okay. I know it's math. I was terrible at math in high school, so I get it if I need to slow down. So this claim was 1718 as well. The total penalty on that claim was $3,198. 2226 of it was lost time. Depending on the department, that might be 2 weeks, maybe, give or take, and $971 in medical bills. So we would have advised continue to pay this employee's salary and leave it in medical only. Had we done that, that penalty would only have been $291 instead of $3,198. That would have reduced the total penalties by $2,737. That is a 1-point impact on our modifier. So another way to think about that is had we paid their lost time, their indemnity, the mod this year would be a 0.98. That's a 1-point increase. But remember, a point doesn't mean anything to you. So since the carrier paid $2226, this current year we paid an additional $2,919 on the premium. And the 3 years that claim is going to be on the modifier, you take that $2,919, multiply it by 3, the total overpayments in premium is $8,757. As far as a net return, had we paid the indemnity and saved that premium, the overall net savings that the city would have had, $6,531. Another way to look at it, the carrier made, it's a bad word, but made $6,500 on just this claim alone by paying $2,226 of their lost time. The next claim, this was 2017, 2018. Now, I've heard a lot of people say, well, what point do we stop? This is a point that as long as you can do it, pay their salary, we would recommend that you do it. Because almost every single time you will get at least your money back the next year, and you'll double or triple your return on investment. So this individual, $14,600 in lost time, $5,000 in medical bills. Had we continued to keep them on salary, put them on light duty, return to work, let the carrier take care of the medical bills, that penalty for that claim would only be $1,505, not $19,708. That increased our modifier by 6 points. So this past, the year that came on, that's $17,500 the first year, and over the 3-year lifespan of that claim, we're gonna pay in $52,542 more dollars. So the carrier got $37,850. We've had a ton of success with this with our fire department in Oologah, Chief Shockley, and they hired us for this exact reason. And they've been with us for 3 years now. We've completely turned their program around. They do this stuff all the time too. So what we like to do is, we'll get into this in the future, is work with each department. We can meet with the police department. Hey, what can these guys do? What can the fire do? What can street and road do? These are all things that we can work towards. And one of the things that we would do is, and when we petition for that 10% credit, keep that in a reserve fund and just pay these employees' salary out of that little bucket. And then whatever we don't use, roll it over next year. That's how you build long-term savings for the city. This was 2018, 2019, another claim. Carrier paid $65 in lost time, depending on the department, that might be 2 hours. $183 in medical bills. We would have said, hey, keep them on the clock. Go to the clinic, go get checked out, let's keep it medical only. Kind of like the first one we talked about, it only impacted the modifier 0.12, not much. Remember, it stays on there for 3 years. So we have a 0.16 and a 0.12. That's starting to add up. So that individually didn't do anything, but it's going to compound itself here in just a minute. This was from 1920. You kind of see the pattern here. $1,445 in lost time. Again, depending on the department, maybe a week, maybe 4 days. We would have said continue to keep them on salary. Medical only, it would have been a $145 penalty, not $1,929. That impacted our modifier by 1 point. Our mod is 1 point higher because of that one claim right there. So the carrier paid $1,400 in lost time. At the renewal, we're going to pay an additional $2,919. And over the 3-year lifespan of this claim, another $8,757. So our net overpayment, had we paid their lost time was $7,312. This one, so this kind of benefits us, so it's not all doom and gloom. This claim is, it shows as medical only on the modifier, but it's listed differently on the loss runs. This is very similar. We don't usually see something like this where there's a lot of indemnity, but only $73 in medical bills. That's very strange. Either this claim was reported late and they may reconcile it the following year, or NCCI just missed it. It's not on the modifier, but that's a good thing. That's saving us 2 points right there. So at the renewal, this is actually saving us money that it's not on there. Now, next year it could come on. We don't know yet, but that's another situation that we would have run into, but we're getting a benefit on this one because it's not on the worksheet right now. Again, we don't know a whole lot about it, but that's unusual. So there might be circumstances that we don't know about. This is another claim that is going to come on to the modifier for this August 1st renewal that's coming up. You kind of see here the carrier paid $1,000 in lost time, $416 in medical. We would have told you continue to pay their salary. This one impacted the mod 0.49, so less than half a point. By itself, it wouldn't really do anything. But you add that 0.16 and that 0.12, that drives it up to a 0.78. They're going to obviously round up. That's a 1 point issue when you take all three of those claims that we talked about together. So the $1,000 there, the $240 on the one before, and the $130 something on the other one, we're going to pay by over the next 3 years $8,757, a total of $7,686 over the lifetime of those claims, just because the carrier paid that lost time and we lost that 70% reduction. This claim was from 2016, 2017, so this is the one that fell off this past year. So we kind of already paid for this one. So this is something that's been going on from 2016 to 2021. Again, $1,300 in lost time. The fact that that's a round number, that's unusual. So that might be a couple days or maybe a paycheck, again, depending on who it is. But the carrier paid $1,300. We would have advised to pay that. That increased our modifier by 1 point. Again, $2,919 the first year. 3-year lifespan of that claim, $8,757. So that's a lot to go over, but you kind of see the pattern here. So this is why we recommend that you all take that credit money, if we can get it, and apply that as a loss fund to continue to pay their salary for a week, 2 weeks, to try to keep all these little 5 claims off our worksheet. So doing a 5-year look back, so this is 2016 all the way into 2021, we took those 7 claims that we just went over, the total penalties, so you kind of see those columns, in total on those 7 claims over 5 years. Remember, this isn't 1 year, this is a 5-year look back. The total penalties, medical and indemnity costs, were $29,006. 21,000 of that was lost time, again, over 5 years, so this isn't an annual thing, this is a 5-year, and $8,006 in medical bills. So had we paid the indemnity, had we advised you to do, the total penalties for those 7 claims would have been $2,402 as opposed to $29,006. That would reduce the total penalties by $26,600. Had that been the case, the city's modifier would be somewhere at a 0.90. It's 9 points higher than where we're at right now. So 9 points times 2919 in 1 year for all of them is $26,271. And over the 3-year lifespan, with the carrier paying $2,100 or $21,000 in lost time, the city would have overpaid $78,813. So our net overpayments over the 5 years of that would be $57,812. Another way to look at this is a return on investment, because it's your policy, it's the city's money, it's your employees. We want to take this and put it back into the city. It's our program. We want to take some ownership in it. Had we paid that lost time, that indemnity, that amount invested, and we would have saved that $57,812 just on the modifier alone, over the 3-year lifespan of those claims, we would have seen a 175% return on the city's investment. The This is why we are so adamant about continuing to keep these people at light duty, put them on a return to work program, and keep as many claims in medical only as you possibly can. Another way to think about this is that the carrier's return on investment was 175%. So it's all stuff that can be fixed. You just got to have somebody who can help you kind of turn this ship around and kind of put the right protocols in place, and that's what we want to do. So as far as the renewal for August 1st, this is what the actual modifier is going to be. So when the new policy comes out, August 1st, it's going to be a 1.01. It went up 2 points, so our mod's going up because of claims. So that should be somewhere in the ballpark of a $5,800 decrease just based on the modifier. Now, nice thing is the state of Oklahoma filed for a rate decrease for the 6th year in a row. So the rates are coming down. Not on everyone, but most of the classes that are under policy should see a rate decrease. With nothing else changing, just looking at the modifier, the projected premium on the August 1st policy should be in the ballpark of $262,000. So I would tell the city, budget that now. It's 4 months early, but budget that amount right now, and we can work through some things. So the summary of kind of what we went over, a big picture here. Again, the modifier went up by 2 points this year, so we're now 1 point over par. The missing credits that we've seen on the last 2 years alone is about $71,000. Again, if we're selected to be the agent, we're going to take that safety manual, we're going to put a nice narrative together for the insurance company and petition them to add that 10% credit. If the board wants us to, we can also go out to market and leverage that. Carriers will do it. If some don't, we can position that. But we think, in our estimation, that there's no reason that we can't get that. We will certainly petition for it, and I think we can get it. Again, you all have the framework to do it. It's simply sometimes just asking for it. Again, those small 5 claims that we went over, there's at least 7 of them that we've seen from 2016 into today. That drove the city's modifier up close to 9 points higher than it could have or should have been. And on those claims alone, that's $57,812 in additional premiums that we overpaid. So including those credits plus the claims, that puts us in the ballpark of $125,000, $130,000 in overpayments and potential savings that we left on the table. So as far as our next steps, I'm just going to be extremely honest with you. We're going to ask that you allow Brown & Brown to represent the city on the workers' comp program. We work with you on the employee benefits, so I think that might be a benefit to have everything in one place. What we're going to do is we're going to work with the carrier, whoever it is, to set up a return to work and a light duty program to keep these little indemnity claims from showing up. We're also going to help with the post claims. We have a dedicated claims analyst in our office. His name's Mac Eardman. He's a graduate from Pryor. He handles all of our claims. So anytime there's an injured employee, Lisa will let us know, and we will take that completely off her desk. We will turn it into CompSource, Zenith, Liberty Mutual, doesn't matter who it is. We'll get a claims update. They'll know who has it. Here's the claim number. Here's the adjuster's contact. Every month, the mayor and the board will get a loss report. So every month, you'll know exactly how many claims we have, what are open, whatever you need. And then once a quarter, should you want to, we can come in here and go over claims reviews once a quarter. Here's where we are on this person. This person's got back to work. This one's going to the doctor tomorrow. However involved or uninvolved you want us to be, you let us know. But we can take all of that off of Lisa's desk. We're also going to do a mid-year modifier projection. So that modifier that came out in March, the one that's coming on the August policy, we'll have a pretty good idea of what it's going to be in January or December. So the board will have 6 months to project what we're going to possibly expect on the renewal. So I'll give you 6 months to budget for the renewal. And again, we could potentially, if the board wants to, explore additional quotes, companies like Zurich, there's others. I mean, we have a lot of companies that can do this. I would just tell you, I would not be surprised if CompSource is still the most competitive. So let's just build a better mousetrap here. But if you hire us, I work for the city. We can go out to bid if we want, or we could present this to the carrier. Let's make our recommendations. If they agree to it, what does the board want to do? Do we want to stay put if we can agree to these terms? And if we can do that, I would like to have the renewal ready in time for the June board meeting. So we have 6 to 8 weeks to make any changes that we need to get it done early and get it done and taken care of. So that was the presentation. Thank you all in the crowd for sticking in on that. Most people walk out. Is there any questions, anything that I need to readdress? I know I went over a lot of information. I can go back, answer any questions.
Let me, thank you, Chris, for the presentation. I think this is the third time that I've seen it. And the second time third time you guys have seen it as well. But Chris made a cold call to the mayor a few months ago. And I said, well, let's go ask our HR person some questions, and so we did, and we got a report from her, and he took that report, he did the analysis on it, and that's how we've gotten to where we are today with the presentation. In my business experience, I made payroll for years and years and years, and paid benefits for years and years, and paid workman's comp benefits, for years and years, and so it looked to be something that we might be able to benefit from here in the city, just by doing the analysis and by knowing that there are some credits that are available if we ask for them.
Yes, sir.
So,
And I want to thank you for the opportunity for letting us do this. You went out of your way, and so did Miss Lisa, to give us that information. So thank you for trusting us and letting us do it. I know it's a heavy haul, so I'm glad that we were able to help you. And kind of in closing to the board, what the promise and kind of the stewardship promise that I want to make to the board is this. You've seen my presentation. You know how this works, right? I want you to use this as a report card for me. Now, we can't fix it overnight, obviously. This takes about 2 years to get this kind of turned around because there's a lag in the reporting on the claims. But our ask is give us a couple years. You have this information. If it turns out that it was just smoke and mirrors and snake oil salesmen and everything I showed you was a lie, you'll be able to go back to this and say, okay, you told us you were going to do this, this, and this, and you haven't done any of it. You can terminate us as an agent. We want this to be as transparent as possible to give you all some control. In the 7 years that I've done this and the 15 years that my boss has done this, we've made that promise, and we've never had to give an account back because you all know what we know. You can hold us accountable to it, but we can all work as a team to drive this down. Again, it's a big ship, but you guys have all the programs and protocols in place. But to the mayor's point, I think there's a lot of opportunity to improve on what we have now. But again, give us a shot. And if we don't do our job, hold our feet to the fire. So again, thank you for the opportunity, and if there's any other questions, I'd be more than happy to.
any questions for
Yes,
Chris?
I do have a question. You used the number, was it 1.44?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Can you get into that a little bit?
Yeah.
Is that,
Yeah, of course. So
what drove that to that point?
So a lot of that, so the 1.44 modifier, so this slide right here, this was the city's work comp policy in the 2022-2021 year. So what that came from was claims from 2018, 2019, 2017, 2018, 2016, 2017. So we didn't have the modifier that went back that far as to go into claims, but that was driven heavily with claims from those years. So if I remember, so this box right here in the top left corner.
If you could read it off to me a little bit, because I can't see it
Yeah,
in the glare.
I'm sorry for the angle. So this is claims data from 2016, 2017. This was on its last year on the 2020, 2021 policy. This is what was driving up our modifier. All of these claims went away, and these claims from 2019, 2020 came on to the current one that we're at.
Okay.
So those guys went away, so then this current year was this year, and this year. So again, there were that one small indemnity claim, there's 12 medical-only claims, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 impairment claims, which would be like a surgery or somebody did some kind of lump sum at the end of the day. So that's where that 1.44 modifier comes from, was from the year prior. Those claims went away. 1920 came on this current year and gave us the 0.99 that we talked about. And then the current one, it's a 1.01 that they'll use on August 1st. 17, 18 is going to go away, then it's 18, 19, 19, 20, 21, 22. So it's always a year, well, technically 2 years behind. But that was the reason for it being higher 2 years ago than it is now.
How much is this service gonna cost us?
I'm glad you asked that. There is no service fee. There's no fee agreement, no broker charge. This is all part of what we do. In full transparency, CompSource pays us. So the city does not pay us anything. We get paid by the insurance company, just like your current broker does. All of these services, as far as my side goes, is complimentary. It's part of being a Brown & Brown client. So our goal is to, again, full transparency, lower your premiums, earn less commission, but if we do a good job, we'd like to be the agent for 25 or 30 years. We're in the long game here. So there's no fees. A lot of those safety visits and where the carrier can come in and set up return to work programs and help the district kind of formulate these loss control things, that's free as well. Those carriers will invest in that because they don't want you turning in claims either. They don't want your claims to go up because they have to pay for them. Then your modifier goes up, premium goes up, and then you're mad at them because your premiums go up. So they invest on the front end to bring these loss control consultants to come in, redo the safety program, and it's all built into the premium. So there is no service fee, no charge whatsoever for this. It's all included.
So are we currently under contract with a broker? And does the city have a broker right now?
We are currently using a broker, yes.
And will that agreement expire at any certain time?
Yeah, so the best way to do this is technically they are your broker of record. They control the account. The carrier, CompSource, will not talk to us. They shouldn't. Legally, they can't. So what we would ask to do is be hired as the agent effective today, and there's a 10-day waiting period per statute, so it doesn't matter who it is. There's a 10-day waiting period where the current broker can ask the city to rescind that. We would ask you all to just hold in there for 10 days with us. After that 10-day period, then we become the broker of record, and the carriers will begin to talk to us. The reason why we ask for it early is because if CompSource, it doesn't matter who the carrier is, but since we're CompSource, let's use them. If they release a quote to another broker and then we become the agent, we cannot go back and ask them for that credit. They can't give us a different quote that they offered somebody else. We could potentially get it next year, but if they release that quote to the broker first, we can't go back and change it. That's unfair business practices, so we'd be waiting behind a year. So that's why we asked to be named the broker today and then give it that 10-day waiting period, so that way we can start negotiating now to try to get the proposal for the June board meeting in time. So technically, they're still the broker until August 1st unless the change is made, and that's what we would be asking for. So thank you for that question.
Is that 10 calendar days or business days?
10 business days. Some companies will do 7. Some carriers have also pressed the broker that if someone's adamant about it, they can be asked to waive the grace period, that waiting day, and not fight it. That's a bad word, but not fight it or try to come back to release it. If they decide to release it, it could be 3 or 4 business days. But typically, it's 10 business days. But again, that varies from carrier to carrier.
Is the current broker local?
Yes.
Have they been doing a good job?
They've been doing their job. They have been doing their job. When I see the potential for the savings, I have to stand in front of a citizen and say, I need to take advantage of those savings. And so to answer your question, yes, it is local. It is a local broker. We are with ComSource. But when I see the opportunity for the savings, I have to go that direction. I have to go that way.
So this other broker never offered anything like this?
Correct.
Did they even know about this? Or is it something they should have known and just didn't do it?
Do not know. I don't know. So what I've not done is I've not negotiated him against one and one against the other. What we have done is we have listened to this presentation, and I think that we have an opportunity to do a good job for the citizens and save quite a bit of money. So whether the other broker knew about it or not, I don't know. I don't know.
How long how long have we been with the other broker? Roughly, I mean, not to be exact, is it a few years or what?
Several years,
Several years.
yes.
Isn't that supposedly their job to know that?
Yes, sir. And I don't approach that with hard feelings. I don't approach that with
No.
with any malice or anything like that. It's a business decision in front of every citizen to be able to have some significant savings with workman's comp, and with city, that workman's comp, those claims and that bill is significant.
Did the committee have any concerns or?
No, when we saw what we were going to be able to do with the savings and stuff, and let's say, and we talked about this too, let's say you have a person that gets a cut on a hand or something like that, and they have to go get stitches, and they go down and they take 3 or 4 hours or maybe the afternoon off or something like that on comp time instead of taking sick leave or whatever. Then that drops the 70% out for us, and then that gives us a higher points rating, and then that's $2,919 a point every time that comes up, and that multipliers in there. So what it does, it gives if we can have them to be on sick leave maybe instead of off on comp time and stuff like that, we're going to end up saving a lot of money at the end of it. It's the way it looked to us.
And the formula is to impact that modifier. So so how we do that affects what the cost is.
And you're going to save your money in 2 or 3 years down the road. More and more, it's just going to add up.
And I would encourage, if council decides to do this, I would encourage Ordinance Insurance Committee to hear from Chris quarterly and give an update. I think that would be a good service, would be worth our time.
By all means.
Other questions? Chris, thank you so much for the
No,
presentation.
you are very welcome. Thank you all for sitting in.
Appreciate
I
it.
very much appreciate it. Yep.
We have a motion second on item F. If there are no more discussion or questions, then we'll call for vote.
Ketcher,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Seaver.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item H, discussion and possible action regarding disposal of city records according to City of Pryor Creek retention policy is attached.
Motion.
Second.
Motion Ketcher, second Smith. You have in your packet several pages that list the different items that we want to dispose of. All of those items have been listed per the statutes. We keep records for a certain amount of time. We have many of these records that we have the ability to dispose of. One of the things that we are doing is we are going through the records, and what we need to save electronically, we are saving. We have that microfiche item that we were able to save the records. when we need to. But just saving, just keeping boxes and boxes and boxes of paper is not something that's efficient for us going forward.
The reason I was mentioning this one is I think we had a typo on where you see the destroy list for April 2022. About almost halfway down, it said Aetna 2022 through 2004. I'm assuming it was meant to be 2002.
That is correct. We checked that out.
So I think that's the only reason I mentioned that, to make that clarification.
Other questions, comments? Call for vote?
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Ketcher.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item I, discussion possible action to approve quote from Digi Security Systems of $29,952.17 to purchase and install security cameras at the Thomas J. Harrison Public Library. This quote is at state contract pricing and includes new cameras for the additions and incorporating existing cameras into the system to provide good coverage. $12,673.46 will be expensed from account 96-965-5517. $17,278.71 will be expensed from account 80805-5413. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Chitwood, second Shropshire. Discussion.
Yes, I had a question on the 808055413 account. You said it was the library building fund. What is the current balance in that? I couldn't see it on my sheet. I just wanted to clarify that the money was indeed there.
Stand by and I'll go to that report. Currently $17,587.12.
17.5.
$17,587.12.
Thank you.
What we found, what I found was a way to pay for these items. We have a building fund, a library building fund that's been sitting there for a while. And we also have a donations account that's been sitting there for a while with items that are supposed to be for library, but they've been sitting there for a long time. So it makes sense to use those monies to productively to accomplish something there at the library. Any other discussion or questions?
On this same account number, so you're spending, basically $300 less than what you have, so going forward, is that account gonna be refunded over the years?
That account, that 80 account has been there, kind of sitting there.
So we haven't been
Like-
putting any money into it for a while?
No, it's been sitting there for a long time. Carrie came to me and said, how are we gonna pay for this stuff? And I said, well, I think we have a library building fund. She said, oh, we do? Well, several years ago, I don't know how long ago, but there was a library building fund that was set up. Maybe it was the last time that we had an expansion or did a renovation or whatever it was. But that's an amount of money that's been sitting there and has not been used. And lately, it has not been gathering too much interest either. So it seemed to be a good way to use those funds. Other discussion, questions? Call for vote?
Nance,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Ketcher,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item J, discussion and possible action regarding approving an expenditure in the amount of $5,493.08 per state bid pricing. White Star for emergency replacement of skid steer tracks for the Pryor Creek Street Department from street repair and maintenance account 141455342. This action was approved by Street Committee on March 22nd, 2022. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion Chitwood, second Smith. Discussion.
This was brought up in our last street department meeting. Buddy had unforeseen business where this piece of equipment, the skid steer in itself, the tracks were going bad if they're not already worn out. So he asked to put this on the agenda for this, to go ahead and approve this cost, and then going forward, I think he's gonna, is it one or two more sets he's gonna order and have it budgeted into his budget?
I think there's one.
I couldn't remember if it was one or two, but yeah, going forward, so he's gonna have, this was something that he needed right now, and, to keep his equipment in shape and ready to go.
Might mention that there is current balance in that budgeted item, $41,916.89. So it's well funded to be able to cover that expense. Other comments, discussion? Call for vote?
Smith, sorry.
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Pitcher,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance.
Yes.
Motion carries. Are our fire guys still here?
Still there.
You guys are hanging in there. aren't you?
Yeah, they are.
Item M, discussion possible action regarding fire department promotion of John Ballou to Captain Range P, Step 4, annual wage of $53,903, effective April 16, 2022. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Pick one. Smith, motion, second Catcher.
John? John's pretty much one of our senior guys up there. He's right around 20 years. He's been in the acting captain position here for a while and doing a great job. I couldn't ask for more. He'll be a heck of a leader as he goes forward. He's a good hand.
Good.
Good deal.
I know you can't sing or dance, so what's your speech?
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
loyalty.
Very much appreciated.
Thank you what you contribute to our city.
Thank you.
Questions, comments? Very good. Call for vote?
Chitwood,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Pitcher,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Congratulations.
Motion carries. Congratulations, Captain.
Yes.
Item N, discussion and possible action regarding fire department promotion of Chris Young to Lieutenant Range O, Step 4, annual wage $50,547, effective April 16, 2022.
Motion.
Second.
Motion Smith, second Chitwood.
nice.
Chris, is you about 12 years on, all your time with the fire department? He's also been currently working in the lieutenant's position, doing a good job helping John, the captains, get a lot of help from the lieutenants and vice versa. So they've been working really well together, working through everything for time off and all that stuff. But like I said, he's right there at 12 years. We'll keep pushing him. He's gonna be a good leader.
Thank you for your service of 12 years.
Thank you.
And we can now address you as Lieutenant
Thanks, sir.
after we vote.
LTs usually get lost.
Well, yeah. Yeah, them lost lieutenants that you gotta keep up with.
Put a bell on him.
Yeah.
Where he's at.
Other comments? Call for vote.
Gantier,
Yes.
Seaver,
Oh, yes.
Catcher,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Motion carries. Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Welcome aboard.
Good job,
Thank you for your
Chris.
service.
Appreciate your service.
Do what?
Item,
Yeah, okay, sorry. It makes me proud when these kids that are raised in Pryor, well, BK, the kids, raised in Pryor, choose to stay in Pryor, and I think that's a great testament to our community.
It's great. It's wonderful.
Item O, discussion of possible action regarding hiring Bryce Moore to firefighter range N, step 1, annual wage $36,416, effective April 19, 2022, pending pension physical. Is there a
Motion.
Second.
motion? Catcher, second Smith.
This one was easy. His dad's a cop, so he knew the fireside was the way to go, so.
I think he's kind of scrawny. I don't think he can pass the fit.
No, he's been with us a little bit as a volunteer. He's been out there all the time, trying to learn what he can, and he went through the promotion process, did an awesome job, and he's who we picked to bring him in front of you all. So he'll be a good hand. Like I said with the other ones, they're always growing, learning, and doing better. He'll be a great leader down the road also.
Good deal.
Very good. Comment? Questions?
And he goes for his physical tomorrow, so we should know something shortly after
Good.
that.
Call for vote.
Seaver,
Yes.
Ketcher,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes.
Motion carries. Welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah, glad you're with us.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Item 7, committee reports. Budget personnel, Brakefield,
Looks like April
Shropshire?
12th.
I'm sorry,
Looks like April 12th,
April 12th.
next Tuesday.
Very good. We will also be meeting with our
Police and fire.
police and fire
Okay.
on, after the meeting there.
Okay.
Item B, ordinance insurance, Ms. Shropshire.
May the 9th, it looks like right now.
Okay.
Mr. Ritchie, that's also on a Monday, it looks like. And you're not gonna be able to be there, but this is,
If it's the first Monday of the month.
yeah, I think this is a Brown and Brown insurance presentation, so maybe we won't have to do that. But we won't have to have you for that one. Thank you.
Very good. Item C, street committee, Mr. Smith.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. Item 8, unforeseeable business, I know of none. Item 9.
Motion.
adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn, Catcher, second, Smith. Is there discussion? Call for vote.
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Motion carries. We'll call to order Pryor Public Works Authority. Item 2, approve minutes of March 15, 2022 meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion Chitwood, second Catcher. Discussion? Call for vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Nance.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Ketcher.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 3, unforeseeable business. There is none. Item 4.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to
Second.
adjourn, Mr.
Second.
Catcher, second Smith. Call for vote.
Nance.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Chitwood,
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes.
Seaver,
Yes.
Ketcher,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
We are adjourned.